The following podcast is brought to you by ENT 2099 Media and Entertainment and is part of the J Radio Network. You're listening to The J.
Today is July 7th, Saturday. I'm currently driving back from San Francisco to LA. I finished attending 3 of HYDE's concerts since the last time I recorded the podcast message, which was the 2nd of July. The 3rd of July was a concert in House of Blues in Hollywood Sunset Strip. That one was quite amazing because I was able to stand in line early and get to the front of the stage. Actually, my friends and I got lucky. We got there to line up outside the Hollywood Sunset Strip House of Blues location at around noon, and there were actually already about, I would say, 20 to 30 people, if not more, outside waiting. And I dropped my friends off because I had to go to a lunch with some of my other friends who were part of like AX and stuff. And so when I came back, which was around 2 o'clock, I noticed that my friends went to line up in this dinner line. What happened was if you purchase dinner, if you purchase food basically from them, they give you a receipt, and then you would be able to enter the House of Blues location 15 minutes before, people with just tickets. So my friends decided to do that to get us in early, and therefore when I joined them, I also purchased like a salad or something, even though I just ate and came back. But, if I could get in 15 minutes early, then I don't mind spending an extra $10 for a salad and a drink or something like that. So we did that, and then that was around 2 o'clock. And then, the concert didn't start until 9. Actually, the doors didn't open until 7:30, I should say. And so, basically, for the next 5 hours or so, we were just, sitting around, sitting or standing, just chatting, just waiting. I believe the House of Blues location was also one of the venues that Tofu Records was selling tickets, on the message board. And so one of my friends, she bought her ticket through the Tofu Records forum message board, and therefore she had to wait around to wait until the Tofu Records people came and then distribute out their tickets. I was able to get mine from the box office because I purchased it through the regular Ticketmaster or whatever company that they use to sell tickets. So some people were waiting in line for the Tofu Records tickets, whereas I think the majority of the people, they already have their will call tickets picked up and everything. So at around 7:30, I believe, we were allowed to, the line started to move. We had to check our cameras with the security people, because photography and audio, video, and all that stuff are not allowed in the venue. We got really lucky because the security person basically cut that dinner line halfway. The 2 people right in front of us were they basically cut the line in half in front of the 2 people right in front of us. Therefore, we became the head of the second line, and then so basically we were able to get in really early, even earlier than some of the people who lined up in front of us, because we got cut basically. So we got in, and then we went straight to the middle of the stage. The front of the stage was already filled with 1 row of people. So the stage was pretty wide, And so we were able to get to the second row of the stage, and I was standing basically right in front of HYDE's microphone, which was great because, I came to see HYDE. And we're just slowly waiting for people to fill up the venue. And, people came in slowly because they had to be checked. Because House of Blues was pretty strict. Like, they have people using, like, a handheld device to scan for any, metal or whatever, which I guess took a while because, everyone probably was wearing chains and that kind of stuff. Chains and necklaces and stuff. Checking for cameras and everything. So the room was filling up, rather slowly. But before you knew it, it was like 8:30 or something. And the Blacklist Club, which was the opening band for HYDE, all of HYDE's shows actually, they came out and sang their songs and got a really good reception because we have already heard their songs the night before and they were actually pretty good. And the singer, Evan, he was able to get the crowd, really into it. Like he made us scream every time he said the word HYDE. Even in the middle of a song, he would like all of a sudden say HYDE, and then like all the fans would just scream. And then he made us do that, all the time. And so we got really into the the atmosphere was great and stuff. So after they played for half an hour, and then the stage was cleared, HYDE staff members came out to tune their guitars and instruments and the amps and everything, and then half an hour later at 9:30 they started to play the theme Ode to Joy, which was the entrance music for HYDE and his band. So they came out, everyone cheered obviously, and then we were at the second row, right? So like people were already starting to push, which was expected because when everyone came to see HYDE and he was there, and so people wanted to get to the front of the stage. The first song that he played was Jesus Christ, which he ended up playing that song. He ended up starting out with that song in 3 of his 4 concerts. Jesus Christ is like a really emotional song, and it was one of his favorite songs on the album. But the part, near the end of the refrain portion, where he says, "God give me death," he basically held out his arms and made like a cross shape, and everyone was singing along the lyrics. Everyone was really into it. And the second song was Sweet Vanilla, which was great in my opinion that they put in the second song of the whole set, because Sweet Vanilla was like the kind of song that would get you into the mood of the concert, I guess, because it was like the first song in his second album. Jesus Christ was the first song in his third album, whereas Sweet Vanilla was the first song in his second album. It's like a get people going type of song, and we love it. We sang along every single word. The third song was my favorite in terms of the energy, which was Made in Heaven. There was a part which HYDE was singing, I want your blood, give it to me, a taste of sin, instinctively. I think that was lyrics. And then that part, everyone was screaming the lyrics out, and to me it felt like HYDE was the cult leader, and we're all like his followers, and we were just ready to give him our blood, that kind of stuff. It might sound a little crazy, but if you're there on the floor, everyone was pushing, everyone has their hands up. It was great. It was like you're worshiping this person on stage who was bringing you this message, and then you're just following him. And I'm sorry, we were just his followers. And that was one of my favorite songs on the whole set list. And then he slowed down and he did an MC portion, talk about the next song being a song of love. So that was like the chill out portion of the concert. So the next song was Season's Call, and then I believe he continued with Evergreen, the rock version of Evergreen. The next part was an instrumental song, which was like the prelude of Perfect Moment. HYDE HYDE changed from his electric guitar to a acoustic guitar, and he was and the song actually started out with Hiroki, the bass player, doing a bass solo, slow rock bass solo, and then HYDE came in, and then the other guitars, Kaz came in later, and they were just doing they were just chilling out, enjoying the moment, a slow piece, which led to the next song, which was called Perfect Moment, and that song had lyrics that described this moment is perfect, and I'm happy to die here. And I think that really touched a lot of the fans, the hearts of a lot of fans, because that moment, I mean, the lighting was great, and we were there to see him perform, and it was like the perfect moment for all our fans. And the next song was, they were trying to get the rhythm to go faster again. The next song was Faith, followed by Prayer. Both of them were slow rock, but it was more upbeat and get the crowd into the music again. So after they're done with the chill out portion, it was the MC again. And this time, at the first concert, the drummer Furutong was doing the MC. He was introducing the band. This time it was Kaz. Kaz was a guitarist. He basically worked with HYDE to record the album, and Furutong and the bass player Hiroki, they were not involved. I don't think they were involved in the recording of the album. So out of the 5 musicians on stage, the fifth one being Jin, the keyboard player, only HYDE and Kaz I believe, were involved in the recording of the album. And Kaz did his MC, and he thanked God, Dennis, and some other people. They were the staff members, the musicians. They were the musicians who helped them record the album. They were famous ex-fan members of, I want to say 9 Inch Nails, but I may be wrong on that. But and some other bands, I don't remember. Sorry. And so he did his MC. He thanked everyone. I think at one point in time he made a small mistake, and he was laughing at himself, and then HYDE was laughing at him. We were laughing at him, but it was all good. He introduced all the band members, and I want to say that he forgot himself. I think he forgot to introduce himself, but I wasn't sure. But that's what I thought. And of course, when he introduced HYDE, and everybody was screaming. And after that, the next song was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. After the MC in all 4 concerts, they started the next song with Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, which was a cover song by the Beatles, which was great. The crowd was full of energy. Everybody had their hands up, and I was in the front of the stage, but and so like we were all moving and bouncing up and down. When the chorus part came on, everybody was singing. It was all English. HYDE's English improved a lot, and it was great news. It was good. His MC was it was easy to understand. He actually had his cheat sheet of what he was planning to say, and we were close enough. We were on the second row, so we were close enough to see that he was actually, in some cases, he was trying to say it in his head. He had mouth movements to try to say the words properly, and then he would say it into the microphone. So he would practice it first to make sure he's saying it correctly, and then he says it into the microphone. And I thought that was cute because he got really good response from the crowd. We were singing to every single song, and we would scream and respond to every single line of his MC. And I think he really enjoyed it. He mentioned a few times that he was really happy. And he also said that if I came back, will you come to see me? And of course, all of us just screamed yes and yeah, and yeah, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we want to see him again? So after Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, I believe the next song was Dolly. Dolly was a very rock song, was a hard rock song. The music goes from low to really high, really rock, and so everyone was banging their heads and everything. And there's one part in the middle the guitars, the bassist, and HYDE, they were all in the front of the stage, like in front of the microphone. So people went nuts. People went nuts and, just we cheered, we reached out our hands to try to touch them, but of course they're far away enough that we couldn't really touch them. Which, by the way, was different in the third concert, and I'll get to that later. The song Dolly, there's this one part in the middle where it was instrumental, and Hiroki, the bass player, he was standing right in front of us, and he was getting the crowd to cheer, to the beat, and so we were all doing that, and everyone was really into it. The next song was It's Sad, which has a similar style to Dolly, and so everyone was high energy, really into the songs, and cheering and everything. And afterwards, the next one was Hello. Hello is one of those songs that everyone just sings along. Well, I mean, we already sang along every single song, but Hello in particular, HYDE stopped singing in one part, and he just stood in front of it on top of the speakers, on top of the amplifiers, because they built a little stand for them to stand on it. And so HYDE just played his guitar and stand on it and kind of used his mouth to guide us to sing to the lyrics. So he was singing like without the microphones in front of him, and so you could hear the entire audience was singing to the song. And I think we were really impressed, and because it was all Japanese except for the word hello, and we were able to sing the whole thing. And he was really glad, I think. And that was one of the most fun songs because we got to really be part of the song, because he wasn't singing, so he was listening to us sing, and that was really great. The next song was Midnight Celebration, and that was like that is one of the craziest songs where HYDE just kind of lost himself, and he just kind of yelled into the microphones, and again he got up to the speakers and let us sing part of the song, the word celebration. Like in the middle, there's this one part where people are supposed to sing celebration, and so he was guiding us to sing that part. And after that, towards the end of the song, he took off his guitar and gave it to the staff member, and he took the microphone off the stand, and he stood on top of the amplifiers and just sang the last verse of the song. And basically, after he was done, he walked away back to the backstage. The rest of the band members, they finished playing the song, and then they left the instrument on the stage, and they walked right back, blowing kisses to us, and they walked back into the backstage. And like even before they finished walking back into the backstage, people were already cheering encore, and it was just kind of weird, but I guess understandable. I mean, we know that they're gonna come out encore, and so I kind of chill out because during this whole concert, people were pushing and everything, and so Air was scared, and we were being pushed by people behind us, but we didn't really have anywhere to go because we were almost at the front, and the row of people in front of us, they had the barrier in front of them, so like they couldn't go anywhere, and we were pretty much just breathing off people's body heat, and so the air was really stuffy, and so during the encore portion, I basically just lift up my head and try to breathe some of the air on top of me, but it was really hard. I mean, there wasn't really a lot of fresh air. Everybody was so packed together to each other, and so it was kind of hard to breathe. And I thought that at some point in time, when I was enjoying the concert, my heart was racing really fast, and it was probably because I was really into the concert, but it was also because I think my heart was pumping really fast to try to circulate oxygen in my body. So after the encore, I think like 10 minutes or something, after the intermission, while people were asking them to come out for an encore, which was around 10 to 15 minutes. They came back out, and HYDE. Oh, by the way, I forgot to describe. During the first part of the show, when HYDE came out, what he was wearing was a I want to say it was gray pants with a gray jacket, gray or brown. I wasn't quite sure. It could have been brown because there was like reflection from the lights and stuff. But basically, he didn't have a shirt. He was shirtless inside. He just had the jacket over his bare body, and we were close enough to actually see that he still had his belly button pierced because he was wearing a belly button ring. And so after the encore, he took off his jacket. So he was shirtless. And of course, when he came out without his shirt, all the girls were screaming. And, he knew obviously, that when he came out with the shirt off, everyone was going to scream. And we did. And he greeted us, thanked us, and then say, let's make love. And asked us to count down from 13 to 1, which led to the song Countdown. After Countdown, the next song was Hide Away, which was a really energetic song. It was like a really happy, energetic kind of song. And there was one part he was also letting us sing. He was not at the microphone, and he was just listening to us sing. And that was a really fun song to sing and to cheer. Before the last song, he asked us again if I came back, will you be here? And he thanked us. He thanked all of us who came. And the last song was Unexpected, which he asked us to sing along with him. The first part, the lyrics was simple. It was just unexpected, promises woven, and there was one part where there was no music, and it was just all us, all audience singing those words, and it echoed through the entire music hall, and it was really touching. And after that, he said thank you, and then he continued to play, and then after that, the song went into a really high-pitched, rock style later on, and he might have been. I might have gotten some of the. I think he was rolling on the floor playing the guitar towards the very end, but I might have been thinking about it from a different concert because I went to all four of his concerts. I'm trying to get all my thoughts kind of mixed up. Sorry, but so he was playing on the floor, and then until the end of the song, he walked away, blowing kisses at us. He walked away, and then the other players, the bass player Hiroki and Kaz, the guitar player, they tossed some of the picks into the crowd, and so we're trying to get them, and then of course we didn't get any, which was fine. And that was the conclusion of the LA area concert. So, and that was on the 3rd, and I was being pushed around, and I was really tired. We were lacking oxygen in there, but everyone had a great time, and should have a great time. So, the 4th of July was a travel day for me and my friends. We were going to drive, and we did. We drove from Los Angeles to San Francisco. We started out at around noon, I would say, and we got to San Francisco at 6 o'clock in the evening, or 5, I don't remember. Of course, along the way, we were listening to HYDE songs, we were singing, we were chatting, talking about how great the concerts were. And when we got to our hotel in San Francisco, we put our stuff away, and then we came out and we tried to walk to the venue of the first concert in San Francisco, which was Slim's. Slim's was a really small Slim's was a really small place, and we knew that from looking at the photos. We're actually checking out the photos from the computer that I brought with me too, and the stage was a lot smaller compared to House of Blues, and there were poles in the performing area, in the standing area. So we knew from looking at the photos that some spots in the audience there would be obstructed views. So we were wondering, why do they have poles and stuff? And so we were joking that we would climb up onto the poles and watch the concert. But anyway, so we walked. We decided to try to check out this place, and so we walked from our hotel to Slim's, which according to MapQuest was 1.7 miles driving distance. And so we walked, and when we got there, the place was closed. But of course, it was 4th of July, so all the places were closed, and it was kind of in a sketchy neighborhood. Yeah, there were a lot of homeless people, I would say, in the area. So it was kind of sketchy. And we got there, looked around, and saw that there was some deli and some pizza place nearby. So we thought, maybe tomorrow we can grab some food to eat while standing in line and stuff. And after that, we knew from looking at MapQuest that there is a street in San Francisco called HYDE Street. And HYDE Street turns into 8th Street. Now Slim's is on 11th Street. And HYDE Street turns into 8th Street. So, and it was really nearby. So we decided to walk to HYDE Street, and we took a picture. We took a couple of photos underneath HYDE Street sign, and turns out Hyde has been to HYDE Street. And we found out from the next show at Slim that he said one of the things that he said during his MC was, why do I see my name everywhere in this town? And of course, all of us were laughing, and we thought that was really cute because that was his first time. This trip was his first time being in San Francisco, so obviously he had seen the street sign with his name on it. And yeah, that was a really cute comment, we thought. So anyway, we got the phone call later on that evening from one of our friends who said that, the phone call came at around 10 o'clock, I believe, and they said that people were already camping outside Slim. And we were like, oh my god, people were crazy. But that was like our day of rest, and so we were kind of sluggish. And the next morning, we didn't get out of our hotel until close to 12. Now I didn't go out because I had to finish up some work, and so my friends did go out, and they didn't actually start to line up until 3 or 4 p.m. And by then, I believe that there were already the half a block of the street, the 11th Street, was already occupied by fans standing in line and everything. But that was fine. So we sat in line and we waited, and I believe that the doors opened at 8 p.m. So at 8 p.m. we went in, and we did notice a sign on the door that said the videotape. They were going to videotape in this concert, and we did notice that there were cameras and everything, taping. So was in the previous concerts, but this time they were actually like bigger cameras. So perhaps I don't know for sure, but maybe they were thinking of making it into DVDs or something. So that would be good news for everyone who wasn't able to make it to the concert. But anyway, so we got in, and there were already a lot of people in front. The place was small. The stage was not wide. The dance floor was long. The place was not wide. So as you can imagine, people were trying to pack into a space, and they into a space that is kind of like a long rectangle but lengthwise. And of course, people don't want to be so far behind, and so everyone was like pushing towards the front. At the beginning, I was at, I don't know, maybe like 10th row, 10th or 12th, but I was able to, maneuver my way in, and I ended up being at around row 6. However, those pools were kind of in my way, and so sometimes I wasn't quite able to see HYDE. And also, for whatever reason, people in San Francisco are really tall, and so a lot of the tall people were in front, and so we didn't really get a good look at HYDE, and so maybe that's why I didn't enjoy this particular concert as much as the previous one. But this concert, a lot of people liked it a lot. I talked to a lot of people, and then they actually liked it a lot because the venue was so small. If you get to be in the front, then you get to be like really close to the artist. And so, like, a lot of times when they were at the front of the stage, people were actually able to touch their hands, touch the guitar, touch their knees, touch their pants, and so that made the day for a lot of fans. One of my friends who was traveling with us, she was able to touch the hand and the guitar of the bass player as well. And so, yeah, that was great. The set list was completely different than the first two shows. They started out, I believe, with the first song. Some of my friends told me that it's actually called First Song, the song. It was all instrumental. I was expecting it to start with Jesus Christ, but it was not. It was this instrumental song. It was a rock instrumental song. And the first actual song with lyrics was Made in Heaven, my favorite song. And everyone was, like I said before, screaming, like we were following the cult leader. That was a really good song to open the set and get a lot of people into the mood. But of course, that also means there were a lot of pushing. So we all expected that, and so we kind of like sit and make sure we don't get pushed around. Some people were yelling at each other. They were being mean to each other, but and some people, I think, after a few songs, they felt that it was too stuffy, and so they had to leave the premises because they couldn't stand the pushing anymore. Anyway, they started with Made in Heaven, and I want to say that the next song was Dolly. I couldn't quite remember. That set list was so different than the rest of them, and I couldn't quite remember the order of the songs. However, I do know that they played an extra song. During the past two concerts in LA, they did not play from the Faith album. They did not play Mission, and they did not play I Can Feel. In this third concert, they played I Can Feel and they played Mission. However, they omitted Perfect Moment. During the time right before he started playing I Can Feel, I think it was like the fourth or fifth, I don't remember. He did an MC, and he told us that the next song is about love, and it's about being connected with the universe. And that kind of triggered my memory because just a few days ago I conducted an interview with HYDE, lucky me, and he mentioned something about realizing love equals universe. At that time I didn't ask him to explain, and so when he said that during the concert, I immediately realized that this is the song he was talking about. It's a song about love, and it's about connecting with the universe. So, if you get a chance, read the lyrics, and I'm sure you would understand what he meant by love equals universe. So he skipped Perfect Moment, and but that's fine. And he played Mask Masquerade from 666, and he did not play Sweet Vanilla in this particular set list. Like I said, it was completely different, so I couldn't quite remember the order of the songs. But Masquerade was one of my favorite in 666 because there's this one part where we go blast, and then we keep going blast, 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 and everyone was having the fist out when we did the blast part, and it was a really energetic song, and I love it a lot. So after, I'm going to jump towards and he did not play Evergreen, which was a bummer because I love that song a lot, but he didn't play it. I was hoping that maybe he would play it during the encore portion, but he didn't. He ended the part before the encore with Hideaway and Unexpected, which was the songs that he ended the whole concert with during the first two shows. So they went in for encore, and they came back out, and HYDE took off his jacket again. This time I think he was wearing like gray denim with a dark shirt inside, and so he took off his denim, and then so the shirt, and then so he was only wearing the shirt inside and the pants, of course. And the first song when he came out to play, I believe it was Countdown. I could have been wrong on this, but I think it was Countdown. And the next song he played was Hello. So all of us were singing along Hello. And the last song he played was Midnight Celebration. So he kind of switched the songs around. The songs that he ended with the normal portion, he ended up using them for the encore portion. And he was playing on the floor as well. During the switch back to the MC portion earlier during the evening. This time it was Jin doing the MC. Actually, I should say it wasn't Jin. It was the computer that Jin was using that was doing the MC. Jin explained that he wasn't able to speak English, and therefore he used his computer to speak in English and then introduce the band members and everything. I couldn't quite understand because it kind of sounds like a computer. I mean, it was from a computer, but it sounded like a computer robot voice, and so I couldn't quite understand. But I knew when he introduced Hirotone, and I also knew that he introduced Kaz, and he said that Kaz talks really fast, and he introduced Hiroki as the bass player, and then he also introduced HYDE. And Jin is this, he wears a black cape, and he had these really long artificial hair with like white color, black and white color on it, and he wears a mask, like a completely white mask, and so you can't really see his face. When he was playing his keyboard, he moved his head left and right, so he was swinging his hair, the artificial hair, back left and right, and so that was kind of cool because you can see he was doing that swinging motion of his head left and right, and that kind of provided a visual, because I guess normally the keyboard person doesn't really get to move much, and people don't really pay much attention to him because he was at the back, and so it gave him a more visual presence in the band, and that was great. So at the Slim location, yeah, everyone was really packed. The stage was smaller, but a lot of people in the front got to touch the band members, and so that kind of made their day. When I came back out of the concert, I listened to a lot of people talking, and they were, oh my God, I was able to touch HYDE, or oh my God, I was able to touch, his pants, and I was hanging on to the fragment of his pants or something, and that was kind of crazy. But I'm glad that a lot of people had fun, even though I actually liked the second concert more, up to that point. So we got out of the venue at around 11:30, I think, because the show started, HYDE portion of the show started at around 10 o'clock. so after 10 o'clock, the show was about an hour and a half, and then so we came out at around 11:30. Our friends and I decided to do something crazy. We decided to take a taxi and go straight to the venue of the fourth concert at the Fillmore. Luckily, the Fillmore was only 0.5 miles away from our hotel, according to MapQuest. So we took a taxi, and we have 5 people. We took a taxi. 3 of us got off at the hotel, and the 2 of us, the remaining 2 went to line up at the Fillmore. We later on got a phone call from them saying that there were already like 3 other girls in front of us. It turned out that those 3 girls were a group of 5. So basically, we were the second group in line, and so the 3 of us who went back to the hotel, we actually brought the extra blankets and the extra pillows. We made 2 trips and brought extra blankets and extra pillows to our friends who decided to stay overnight, camp out overnight. So the 5 of us, we ended up leaving 3 behind. I was not one of them. I actually am getting too old. Therefore, I opted to go back to the hotel and sleep. And even though there were only 5 of us, we were actually like part of a group of 8. And there were 3 girls who came later on at around 5:30 a.m. to relieve 2 of our friends who stayed overnight. And so we kind of like took shifts basically, and I and this other friend, we came at 7:30 in the morning and relieved the last friend who stayed overnight so that they could go back to the hotel and get decent sleep. And they told us that, you know, at night, sleeping on the street of San Francisco, it was really cold. And we were joking later on that, you know, we spent 1 day of vacation sleeping, sitting, and having blankets over ourselves on the cold street of San Francisco. The problem with me was I didn't quite check the weather in San Francisco, and I basically just brought the same clothes as the ones I was wearing in LA, because we knew that once you get into the venue, you're going to be sweating, and so we didn't want to bring, you know, jackets and stuff. But I didn't, you know, consider the part where I was going to be standing outside and it would be a lot colder in San Francisco than in LA, which is kind of surprising because I think the temperature was only like in the high 60s or low 70s, whereas in LA, in Anaheim or in Hollywood, it was like 90s. So there was a great difference in temperature. But anyway, so I and my other friend got there at 7:30, and so throughout the day, you know, we took turns, go get food or take breaks, and basically I was there from 10:30 to 8 p.m. From 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. standing, sitting, or walking around. And I think I took about half an hour break, you know, walking to Starbucks to get food, going to the bathroom, that kind of stuff. And I never imagined that I was going to do something like this, so crazy, camping out, you know, for, as a group, we actually camped out 19 hours for the entire day, which was quite amazing. And this other friend, we were kind of counting, because during the whole morning, during the whole afternoon, people were wondering, you know, what are you guys doing here? Who is playing tonight? Because we told them we're waiting for a concert to start tonight, and then they would ask us, who is playing tonight? And we said, it's HYDE, this Japanese rock star. Most of the people did not know who HYDE was, but one of the guys actually said, oh, I just saw his music video on TV just like last week. And so we were like, oh yay, HYDE, you know, this guy knows HYDE, know of HYDE, I should say. And we started counting, but by the time we counted to like 50 people, we decided not to count because there were just way too many people. I mean, it was just people asking us at the front of the line, you know, who knows if there were other people asking behind us, in the rest of the line, trying to figure out what we're doing and stuff. So there were a lot of people wondering, because what happened was we weren't able to line up directly outside the Fillmore. The staff member in the early morning, told us that we need to line up past the post office because otherwise it would be blocking the entrance to the post office. So we were like lining outside the post office, and people entering, exiting the post office were all staring at us, and people driving by, and it was like right outside a bus stop as well. So people getting off the bus, getting on the bus, waiting for the buses, people sitting on the bus, driving by. They were all staring at us or asking us what we're doing and stuff, which was kind of weird, I guess. But yeah, if I were them, I would probably ask too. Anyway, so at around 7:30, people, the guards started to ask people who have will call tickets to line up separately, because apparently the will call window was not open until that time, and so these people needed to pick up their tickets. And then at 8 o'clock, we were finally allowed to enter into the venue in an orderly fashion. The Fillmore is a pretty big venue is a big change compared to the Slims. The Fillmore was as big as the House of Blues in Hollywood, if not bigger. The place was really nice. It had a high ceiling. It had a second floor, and so there were like opera box seats, up on the second floor. Some of the people that I knew, they were sitting up there, but for us hardcore fans who camped out overnight, we were obviously trying to get to the front of the stage, which we did because we were basically the second group in line. I went in. I mean, they were searching for cameras and that kind of stuff. But once we got in, they told us not to run, but people, of course, were running, and we were able to get to the very front of the stage, row 1, yay! And I was standing between the microphones of the bass player Hiroki and HYDE, more closer to Hiroki, because that was the closest I could get to the center. And but that was fine because I really liked Hiroki. He was really cute, and he was a really energetic bass player. And so we were patiently waiting for other people to fill up the place. There was a blonde, long-haired security guard in front of us, so we were kind of talking to them. My friend and I were talking to him, and I asked him how many people he thought were attending this concert, and he said that it was sold out, and therefore there should be around 1,100 to 1,200 people in this place. So compared to to Slim's, which was, I guess, only about 400 to 500 people, this is like double the size. And while we were waiting, I started to chat with the Japanese girl next to me. She was part of a group of Japanese fans that flew all the way from Japan to see HYDE in America. Turned out that she went to all of HYDE's concerts and La Concert as well in Japan, and so he's a veteran. And I asked him what was the difference between American concert here, HYDE's American concert compared to his Japanese one. And the first thing that he told me was that the fans go woo like that when they cheer, but the Japanese fans don't. And then he also told me that in America people push a lot harder. In Japan, the fans will get angry if you push. He also said that American fans love to sing along all the songs along with HYDE, but in Japan the fans don't do that. They listen and only sing the parts where HYDE asks the fans to sing. And I found that quite interesting because I'm not born American or anything, but I instinctively wanted to sing along every single song. Maybe it's just the culture. that was different. So yeah, those were the things that she told me. And she was actually a Hiroki fan. She liked HYDE's music, but he was more of a Hiroki fan. And there was this one device that I noticed they were using to. It was a neon light gold shape, like a magic ball kind of gold, and it lights up neon light. And I was asking her if she knew what that was, because I've seen that device being flashed on the stage a few times during the last few concerts. And he told me that she actually gave them that device. She said that it was used so that when HYDE moved from the center microphone to the mic where Hiroki was standing, the bass player, that if the volume was not loud enough, the staff member will flash that device as a signal for the sound people at the back to turn up the volume of the microphone. So I thought that was that I wouldn't have guessed what it was, but I guess that was a pretty smart thing for them to use that kind of device. And it was kind of flashy. I mean, it was a neon light gold shaped ball thing, and so it was kind of pretty. Anyway, the show started again with Blacklist Club. They came out at around 9 o'clock. They played until 9:35. For this time, for whatever reason, I kind of lost interest in the band. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was the music, or maybe it was the song. Maybe it was the fans. I couldn't quite tell, but during the first three concerts when they were opening for HYDE band, I was kind of into the music, but this time I was just like, I'm not sure. Maybe I was getting old, maybe I was getting tired. But the singer, Evan, he did a really cute thing. In the back of one of his guitars, he used white tape, and he spelled out the word HYDE at the back of his guitar using the tape. And so a couple of times he turned his guitar around, and then people saw the word HYDE, and then so we were all screaming and stuff. And he sang, before they left the stage, he thanked HYDE for letting them tour with them, and he was telling us how great they are, and at 9:35 they left the stage, and then the stage crew tuned the instruments for HYDE and his band, and at around 10 o'clock, Ode to Joy came out again, and HYDE and his band members came out onto the stage. This time HYDE was wearing, I believe, dark gray pants and top jacket. It was obviously a set because they were like laced up. The side of the pants were like laced up with a lot of like buckled straps. And inside the jacket he was wearing I want to say it's black, but it could have been gray. I couldn't quite tell. Tank top with blueprints on it. I wasn't sure what it was, the blue, but it was a blueprint. And so the concert started. Basically, the set list for the fourth show at the Fillmore was the same as the second show at Hollywood. And so I'm not going to go too much into the detail of each of the song anymore. But this time I was at the front of the stage, and it felt a lot more comfortable than being in the second row of the crowd, because I have the barrier to hang on to, even if people were pushing, and I could rest my arm against the barrier, and there was no other fans in front of me, and therefore I didn't have to breathe in body heat from the people in front of me, and so in this sense it was great, because I had air to breathe, and I didn't get pushed as hard as the previous time. However, my friends who were on the right side, I was on the left side, right, near the bass player. My friends who were near the right side of the stage, she was telling me that there were a group of Japanese girls and a group of Chinese girls on both sides of her, and they were trying to, both of those groups were trying to push towards her, and then also the people from the back were also pushing her, so she was being pushed like 3 ways, and but that turned out to be really good, because then there was no way like she could be pushed out of her position, and so it basically, she was basically secure in the spot that she was standing, and so she really, I guess she liked that. She didn't mind that at all, being pushed around. So right now, so during the concert, because I was at the front of the stage, I was able to get a good look at HYDE and Hiroki, his bass player, and I almost got to catch the pick that Hiroki threw down. I swear he was throwing it at me, but because I was like right in front of him, but I think it hit either my hand or it hit somebody else's hand, and I thought that it fell, but I wasn't able to find it after the concert, so that was a bummer. I could have got a souvenir and, go home with it. In any case, the songs were the same as the second set, and he asked us a few times, he asked us if he came back, will we want to come to see him, and of course we said yes. He thanked the Fillmore for letting them play in this venue. He thanked his band members, and he actually blew kisses at the band members as he was thanking them. He thanked his staff members, and then most importantly, he thanked us for coming to his show. And at the very end of the show, of the MC, before the very last song, he said, "I'll be back." And then the whole crowd went nuts because he made a promise with us that he would be back. So this is really good news for the rest of you guys who weren't able to see him during live. Hopefully, he will tour the rest of the country and more people will get to see him. The last song was Unexpected. At the beginning, before the concert started, I was thinking to myself that if he was going to play Unexpected during the last song, I was going to cry, because that was a really emotional song towards the end, and knowing that this is like the last concert, not realizing, not knowing whether he is going to be back or not, I thought to myself that I was probably going to cry, but because he made that promise with us, it turned out, even though he was playing Unexpected, I was really happy, and it drove all my tears away, and I was really glad that he made that promise with us. And so when we came out of the live, we wished that the entire experience would have been longer. It was a lot of fun. I made a lot of good friends. We all love HYDE, and I just wish that the vacation would have lasted longer, and but it didn't. But it was all great because he's going to be back, and we said to ourselves we're going to do this again, and we promised ourselves that we were going to do this again, and so hopefully he comes back soon enough, and then we'll get to do it one more time. And so Friday was a rest day for me, and I was dead tired because basically I was fighting with thousands of fans for the past 4 days for position, jumping, screaming, and everything. And I kind of finally lost my voice. I was wondering to myself, how come I did not lose my voice yet? And then I think on the last day, realizing it was the very last show, I gave it all out. When I screamed, so all my muscles are really sore right now. And I napped and slept a lot, not enough. And so right now I'm driving back to Los Angeles. When I get back, I will definitely be taking a nap. And so that's all from me, my HYDE report. It was really long, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Be sure to come back next week or the week after, in a couple of weeks, I should say, because I will be writing up my report on the interview that I conducted with HYDE, his experience at our experience at the AX Turtle Records booth, as well as the report on one of the concerts, the Hollywood House of Blues concert. So be sure to come back to check out our website, nt2099.com. Be sure to come back and check out our website for the article that we will be posting up soon. We also took photos of HYDE, and therefore exclusive photos. Therefore, please come back and check out our article. Thanks for listening, and hope you enjoyed it. Bye.
Visit JET on the web at www.nt2099.com/J-ENT and email JET Radio at nt2099@gmail.com. See you next time.